This is a podcast from the Business Times.
Good morning. It's Friday, July 24th, 2026. From the Business Times news desk, here are your headlines. What you need to know. New U.S. tariffs of 10 to 12.5% take effect today on 60 trading partners, including the EU, covering 99% of U.S. imports by value. Brent crude holds above $100 a barrel as twin chokepoint fears grip energy markets. Singapore tells Washington it is not a tariff target as Foreign Minister Balakrishnan raises the issue directly with Secretary of State Rubio. In world news, new U.S. tariffs between 10 and 12.5% took effect this morning Singapore time on 60 trading partners, including the European Union, Japan, China, and South Korea. The levies are based on findings that these economies have failed to enforce bans on goods produced with forced labor, cited by the U.S. Trade Representative under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, a statute that has previously survived court challenges. 17 countries that adopted at least some forced labor restrictions face the lower 10% rate. 38 countries face 12.5%. The tariffs replace temporary levies that expired today and cover 99% of U.S. imports by value, according to the USTR's own figures. Exemptions apply to fertilizers and some fuel types, both of which have surged in price due to the Iran war. A civilian nuclear cooperation deal between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia has been conditionally linked to Riyadh normalizing relations with Israel. Saudi Arabia has long rejected joining the U.S.-brokered Abraham Accords, saying a pathway to Palestinian statehood is a prerequisite. British consumer confidence jumped to -17 in July from -23 in June, its highest level since January, according to GfK's survey, driven by optimism around the new prime minister, warm weather, and the World Cup. The Republic's foreign minister, Vivian Balakrishnan, raised the tariff issue directly with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the ASEAN foreign ministers meeting in Manila this week, saying Singapore is not a target of U.S. tariff policy and must avoid becoming collateral damage in a broader global trade dispute. GIC's 20-year annualized returns fell to 5.6% for the period ending March 31st, 2026. Its lowest since 2020, as geopolitical tensions and market volatility from the Middle East, conflict, and U.S. tariffs weighed on investment returns. Singapore private home rents rose 0.7% in the second quarter of 2026, slightly faster than the 0.3% in the first quarter. Home prices rose 0.5%, in line with earlier flash estimates, according to URA data released this morning. In the region, Japan's manufacturing PMI held at 54.7 in July, just below June's 54.8, with output rising at its fastest pace since February 2014, according to S&P Global. Middle East uncertainty continued to weigh on business confidence despite the robust headline reading. Japan's core inflation in June remained below the Bank of Japan's 2% target for a fifth straight month, though analysts expect acceleration later this year as rising fuel and import costs feed through to consumers. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met his Belarusian and Uzbek counterparts in Bishkek yesterday Singapore time, on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Foreign Ministers meeting, emphasizing security cooperation in both bilateral discussions. In companies and markets, Brent crude held above $100.85 a barrel this morning after surging 7% overnight to a 2-month high of $102 as Houthi strikes on Saudi tankers in the Red Sea tightened a second global energy choke point alongside the Strait of Hormuz. Asian shares fell on the twin threat of renewed energy inflation and the new wave of U.S. tariffs. The U.S. dollar held near a 40-year peak against the yen. Sterling fell to $1.33 and 13 U.S. cents, a near a 3-week low. And stocks we're watching include SGX, SIA Engineering, and Mapletree Industrial Trust. For updates throughout your day, visit bt.sg. And don't forget to check in with our wrap podcast, Market Focus Weekly, at 6 this evening.
This is a podcast by the Business Times. Find more BT podcasts at businesstimes.com.sg/podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.